Well, I'm Mike Butterfield, one of the owners at Red Hawk Ranch in Conifer, Colorado. We installed the drinking posts approximately 2 years ago, and they have decreased our workload dramatically. We don't have to break ice in the winter. We don't have to bring hoses out and fill tanks. They're just a great tool for us. We have a training facility here in Conifer, and so we have new horses coming in and out all the time, but we have a tendency to put those horses next to a horse that understands the drinking post. So it helps them learn it quickly. Usually it's a day, maybe 2 at the most. Currently we have 15 pins. We have 5 drinking posts on this 10-pin run, and they're split between each 2 pins. So they work really well. Every 2 horses share a post. We've only had a few problems, and that's with the horses who don't understand the drinking post trying to break the bowl and stuff like that. So, but that's easily repaired. We put shutoffs in all the zones. We have 3 different zones, and so it's real easy to shut them off, remove the bowl, repair it, put it back in. It's a 10-15 minute job. They're pretty bulletproof, really. Before we had tanks with heaters in them, and it's probably reduced our electricity bill about $250 a month. So that's huge. You know, it helps us out so we can buy more hay. How about that? We don't have to scrub tanks. We don't have to clean tanks. It's great. I mean, all the water comes out at the same temperature, winter, summer. So it's nice that the horses have the same temperature water all year round, and no freezing. So they're great. We really enjoyed them.
What's your elevation up here?
We're at 8,200 feet in Conifer. So right here at the ranch is 8,200 feet. So we're up kind of high. We get some pretty good snows. We had a snow 2 years ago that was over 4 feet, and they work like a champ no matter what.
Okay, I'm Galen from Red Hawk Ranch. We moved to the watering post, drinking post, because we used to have tanks. We did tanks for a long time. We broke ice out of them, ran heaters in them. Economically, the heaters cost a lot of money. Breaking the ice economically costs a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. We moved over to these 2 years ago, something like that. They've survived really well for those 2 winters. We've had 1 hard winter and 1 real light winter. Installation's easy with them. Maintenance is exceedingly easy. It's harder to break ice out of a tank than it is to repair one of these. I've enjoyed them greatly. I really like the product. They're good and sturdy. We've had small horses on them. We've had cattle on them. We've had large draft horses on them. They survive well. They're hardy units, and amazingly, a lot of the clients that we have bring training horses in will come in and say, I'm looking for auto waters. What's your thought on these? And I'm probably the biggest advocate for these when people ask. They definitely beat out a lot of the other, well, basically all the other auto waters that I've tried or been around. As far as ease of use and quality of product, they're a very good quality product. The way that we start horses on them is we'll hang buckets for a couple of days, let the horses drink out of the buckets. And the best way to find out that they've gotten the water is they'll stop drinking out of the bucket. And it can be a fresh filled bucket, and they will stop drinking from that bucket to get the fresh, cool, temperature-controlled water out of the ground, which is a big deal. When we first put them in, I watched these horses pretty hard on how much they drink with the tanks. I was able to see, obviously, inch by inch, how much they were drinking. But I also judged it by how many times they went to that set tank. And if you watch the horses in these pens, they are at these waters significantly more. Which in my eyes, water is the most important thing to a horse's health. A horse's health, a cow's health, a sheep's health, any livestock's health is water. And I know they're getting good quality water out of these, and they're going to them much more consistently than the tanks.
How do you keep them clean?
You may not want to put that part in your video because we let the horses do it.
So you don't clean them at all?
No, I mean, we'll wipe out the junk in the bottom. We'll kick out the rocks and maybe some of the stray hay, but they really don't require anything. Even the dogs like to drink out of it. But no, they require almost no maintenance as far as cleaning. They seem to do a good job on staying clean themselves. I think a big help to that is when the horse comes over and drinks, they are clearing their muzzle that first try, but unlike a tank where that has to sit there and stay, it's cleared out as they drink.
Yeah.
So, you know, after the first gulp, they're probably done drinking the stuff that was on their toes. But I mean, they stay clean, which is really nice. There's no algae, and I didn't mention that. Breaking ice out of tanks was a pain, but scrubbing tanks every 2 to 3 days was even worse, because you're inevitably having to get 300-400 gallons out of each tank just to clean the algae out, and it's a waste of water at that point. We don't do that. We don't have to clean it. So.
How often do you wipe them out? Never?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Good. Awesome.
I mean, it may be something you walk up, you check the water. We do make a habit of checking them when we feed that they're working. If there's stuff in it, I throw it out.
Yep.
Other than that, this one and probably the one uphill, they've been on them all week since the last time I threw stuff out, and there's barely anything in it. So, which actually is a positive here. We get a lot of wind. So with the wind that was here, our tanks got disgusting quick. And with the wind that's here, these seem to stay actually shiny all the time. We have a lot of picky clients that before would judge the ranch by its tanks, and they don't. This alleviates that problem. I mean, they come up, they see clean waters, they see horses drinking, and it's all gone. So we probably have 1 in 3 that are dunkers that will take a mouthful of hay, come over, try and bathe it in here so that they can eat wet hay. And for anybody that's experienced that with a bucket or a tank, it is horrid. Especially with alfalfa, and we do feed that. We feed like a mix generally in the spring into summer, so our tanks would be just foul.
Yeah.
And they can't do it. They may be able to get a little bit in there, but we had, I'm gonna say when we finished this, we had 3 or 4 dunkers that we kind of cursed. You know, they would always mess up their tanks, and once we moved them over to this, it was disappointing for those horses that they couldn't do that. But as far as hygiene, it was great, you know, because they can't make that water into some kind of putrid stew, so then they don't drink. But no, I think that's a good one to definitely have on there. Everybody experiences a dunker, and anybody that runs a facility doesn't find it cute.
Yeah.
You know,
I got it.
it is far from cute. It's cute to the owner, but if you have to deal with it, it is not cute. So Mike did a phenomenal job on the research. I mean, he must have brought, I don't know how many, you had 15 different auto waters. That,
oh, wow.
We did a bunch of, and we talked about a lot of stuff and what would work best.
It's important to look at everything. Probably
the biggest thing is, you know, no electricity, fresh water all the time, and, you know, doesn't freeze. It works just like a hydrant. I mean, that's the big deal. That's the way it works.